Gears 6, guys, and why I believe that this is a title that should exist in the gaming landscape. So let's talk about that. I think this is a very important topic because there's a lot of people that are saying that, you know, I'm certainly it's not the biggest narrative going around the Gears of War community as of late, but there are people saying that Gears 6 should actually be put on the back burner and not be the main title that's up and coming. There's a lot of people saying that the Gears of War collection should be the focal point of the next Gears of War title. There's people saying that it should be a different, like a spin-off, so to speak, of Gears of War, should be the next up and coming iteration that the Coalition should be working on. There's a lot of talk about what that next title is going to be and what it should look like. And so I'm here to talk in this first segment of the show about, Gears 6 and why this should be the next game, the next iteration of Gears of War moving forward, and why it should exist. Whereas a lot of people are saying that maybe the Coalition shouldn't be the ones, making another Gears of War title because they have a sour taste in their mouth about, Gears of War 4 or Gears 5 or whatever the Coalition's done up to this point, which I think that the Coalition's done an incredible job in terms of bringing back, Gears of War to all of us. I mean, obviously they're responsible for bringing back Gears of War as a franchise, and that, a title, a franchise that was in a limbo state, a potential state of no return. And, after Gears of War Judgment came out, which I believe was the Dark Ages of Gears of War. And so now where we stand right here, or sit right here, Gears 6 is allegedly being worked on as the next, iteration of the franchise by the Coalition. And I think this is really important because I have said this many times on the channel. And by the way, guys can check out all of my new Gears of War content every single day on the YouTube channel. We are growing every day, and I appreciate each and every one of you who are on this journey with us. But that being said, Gears 6, in my mind, needs to be the next iteration of Gears of War. Certainly, I think the Gears of War collection has a place, and Gears of War collection should exist as well. I don't think that the Coalition should be the ones working on the Gears of War collection, because I think that a remaster, there's a number of other development studios that could do a remaster of Gears 1, 2, 3, as well as Gears of War Judgment. And so Gears 6, though, why this is a title that should exist is because not only is it going to be another, a title that continues the legacy, continues the lore of Gears of War moving forward, there's so many different narratives around, Gears of War at this point in time. When you really think about it, what transpired in Gears 5, from even just a campaign perspective, there was a lot there. There's a lot of things that we could really, take in there, from a semi-open world scenario to the choices that you had to make, which were some of the, biggest choices that we've ever had to make in a Gears of War title to date. And even though I don't 100% agree with the direction that the Coalition went in when it came to Gears 5 and the narrative and the storylines that were there, I still feel that it's important that now, moving forward, obviously the Coalition, they made their choice based on, giving us, the player, the choice at the end of Gears 5 to choose between either JD or Del in terms of who we wanted to see the demise of. Even though I think a lot of people didn't necessarily want that to be a choice. Choices in Gears of War has always been a thing, but a choice like that was definitely one that I was not a huge fan of, especially because JD was the character that we played as in Gears of War 4. I felt like they moved on way too quickly from JD in terms of us playing as that character. Even though I like Kate Diaz, I just think that they should have definitely stuck it out with JD a little bit longer, right? I thought the narratives were awesome when we went from that original trilogy of Gears of War with Marcus Phoenix, and now, playing the torch was passed from Marcus to JD in Gears of War 4. I thought that was awesome. And then you get to Gears 5, and obviously, Kate Diaz, who I still like as a character. I just think that we moved on too quickly from JD. But that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, Gears 6 is something that obviously we want to see what happens, right? In terms of the campaign, the choices that we make from Gears 5, is that going to translate over to as canon in Gears 6? Or is the Coalition going to choose canon for us? it's going to be very, very interesting. Like maybe somehow JD or Dell, whichever one that you decided to kill off in Gears 5, maybe neither one of them's dead, and they kind of have this interesting twist of events that happens. I think that Gears 6, a lot of people are talking like this is going to round out the newest trilogy, the Coalition's trilogy of Gears of War. And even though, like, I've said this a lot of times, but, Rod Ferguson, who was the studio head at the Coalition, he had mentioned that a Gears 6 as well as a Gears 7 were all confirmed by him, as well as a Gears of War movie. And so, Gears 6, I think, could be the end of this sort of trilogy that the Coalition is working on, and the beginning of another trilogy, potentially, depending on how well it does. I mean, obviously, Gears 5 sold very well. This is one of the best-selling games, franchises for Xbox. So I really believe that Microsoft has plans to continue Gears of War for the foreseeable future. But Gears 6 is a title not only from a legacy perspective. We want to know about the lore, like what happened here. Obviously, I would love to see, this next upcoming title kind of be like the Gears of War 2 for the Coalition. And what I'm getting at when I say that is when you think of Gears of War 4, it reminds me of Gears of War 1. Epic Games' Gears of War 1. And then Gears 5, the Coalition's Gears 5, reminds me of Epic Games' Gears of War 3. Now, obviously, Gears of War 3 is my favorite game of all time. It's the greatest Gears title ever made, in my personal opinion. And so, you got some living up to do there. But what I'm getting at when I say that is that the brighter maps, obviously it wasn't quite as gritty and as dark as some of as Gears of War 4 or Gears 2 or Gears of War 1. And Gears of War 3 definitely was dark in certain scenarios, but it wasn't as dark as like Gears of War 2. So we really haven't had that true Gears of War 2 title from the Coalition, and that's why I believe that Gears 6 could very well be that title that so many fans want to see. It seems like many people really want them to go back to this incredibly dark and very gritty style Gears of War title, and I agree. I would love to see that as well. I love Gears 5 for what it is. I really liked it, and not everybody liked Gears 5, but I love Gears 5. I love Gears of War 4. I thought that was probably the most competitive game I've ever seen, from esports to just when you're jumping into lobbies and such. So I thought Gears of War 4 is a great step in a great direction for the Coalition. If you want to consider Gears 5 to be a step in the wrong direction, obviously with the support ending by the Coalition for Gears 5. Obviously, Gears Esports is no longer, at least for the foreseeable future, with Gears 5. I think that all hands are on deck now for the Coalition when it comes to Gears 6. At least that's what I'm hoping, because Gears 6, should be the number one priority by the Coalition. And I've heard, rumors and rumblings, speculation that the Coalition's working on a number of things. The Perfect Dark reboot. They're also helping out, with this new IP altogether. They're working on that, their own IP that's totally new, and as well as Gear 6, right? They might have their hands in, Gears Tactics 2, if that's something that's happening. Maybe a Gears Pop 2. I mean, who knows? They're working on multiple projects, though. We all know this. But at the end of the day, Gears 6, guys, should exist for a multitude of reasons. There's not just one specific reason why it should exist. I mean, the community at large deserves Gears 6 to have a very good Gears title. And I think that now that the Coalition's taken their time, they're doing this thing right, Microsoft is allowing them to take their time with this thing. I think that we have, there's a lot of excitement brewing, and a lot of excitement that's obviously coming to the forefront here for Gears of War as a whole. Even though we're still probably, a couple of years away from Gears 6 hitting shelves, I think that there's still a lot of things to be very excited about, and I can't wait to continue covering Gears 6 for you guys, or whatever the next iteration of Gears of War is that comes out. I'm very excited about it. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about it. Do you guys think that Gears 6 should exist, or do you guys think that, seems like there's some people that believe that Gears 6 shouldn't be the next game that's being worked on. It should be the Gears of War collection, or it should be something, a spin-off or something of that nature. Some people are saying that the Coalition should not be the ones working on the next Gears of War title, which I think is crazy, but there are people, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. I'd love to hear yours, though, in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think about this, and for more Gears 6 content in videos, stay here with Zero TV.